Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here, coming at you on a Tuesday for the Houston Open. Sorry, but no DFS chef today. We had our scheduling conflicts, and I was running a little behind, so I'm just going to do a quick hitter. Maybe take a look at some ownership, a few players, kind of go back over the course preview just a hair bit. So for that, we will get going in just a second, real quick. Still need the 250 subscribers to run this contest. And I will be more engaged on the YouTube and Twitter as much as I can. It's, I sometimes I don't always engage on YouTube like I should. So I'm going to make a more of an effort. So I require an effort in return, right? So hook me up with some subs, man. Let's get this up here. I want to give away some money, man. And it's not my money. I want to give away somebody else's money. So let's do it. All right, let's get after it. Remember what I told you the other day. We're back, Memorial Park Golf Course, third year of the event. Billy Ho contest is out. Make sure you get in there. The link is in the description. I'm going to add it to the picks and preview show today. So no excuses, either video. Jump in there. We'll get the NFL Week 10 contest in there as well. And we're going to look at a few models. Weather, real quick. Let's take a look. All right. And the main thing I wanted to show you here was this Thursday into Friday. You can see the temperature is 80s, the 60s and 80s, like I said. And then over the day Friday, it appears to drop significantly. Okay. That was cool. Anyway, so yes, temperatures dropping, half an inch of rain almost. That's quite a bit. Isolated storms though, so we don't know. But look how the wind has changed. This was right here was all Friday, and now we're falling into Thursday. So I think we can maybe be safe to say that we still got another day to check it and check more than one site, obviously. But I just wanted to take a quick look because I like this site, Wonderground, because it gives you just general weather, temperatures, and you can see how Saturday and Sunday it's into the 60s and 40s. So it looks like since I ran my first show earlier in the week that it's moved up a full day. It was probably Friday was the day the temperatures, but this was supposed to be 10 degrees cooler. So keep an eye on that. And we're going to move on past that to some models. This model right here is a kind of a cool model. I ran and I basically all I did was looked up the 10, basically the 10 hardest courses. Like I said, we're at Memorial Park, which is one of them. And it's a long par 70, 7,200 or 7,400 yards plus. Fairways are Bermuda, roughs Bermuda. The greens are average PGA size. They run slightly fast on the stint. It's sort of similar to how Augusta National is set up, which Augusta National is one of my courses here. And I've been hearing the guy that designed this course is sort of a Pete Dye disciple. Like he's on the Pete Dye coaching tree. So I did have just a hair bit. I got a Harbor Town in there. And I think I might even look at some more Pete Dye type courses because I think maybe this is a municipal course. So it's not like Pete Dye layout, but I think it has some subtlety like around the green type stuff, like the tight lies around the green and things of that nature. So I'll be looking into that. Still leaning with distance off the tee and mid to long irons, 175 to 200 plus, greens in regulation, all that good stuff. So players, just going off the first look model, and it's going to depend on ownership, but Scotty Scheffler above and beyond, I think. And these are some notes that I made. I'm going to breeze through this because it's really not the most thing to it's really not the best thing to do to get too locked in on ownership or anything like that. But I did want to look at some of it just to see where it was going. And I haven't refreshed this in a minute. So it looks like Finau is getting a lot of love. Now, I thought what his swing coach said, and I think I may have mentioned it, how it took Tony a long time last year. If you remember, he struggled for the first few months of the season. And then once he hit in the summertime with the 3M and the Rocket Mortgage, he took off like a rocket mortgage. And I think Tony, that was just his first tournament besides the President Cup last week. He didn't make the cut, which I didn't like. I thought if he'd have made the cut and had an extra couple of rounds, I'd like him more this week. I think that he plays difficult courses well, so I'm not going to write him off. But I think maybe he still needs some time to pay off that 10-4 tag. He might still need, this might be like his make the cut T30 kind of thing, with some putting woes and a little bit. He can sometimes get yippy around the greens, so that's going to be real important this week. So I'm just gonna play another week or so on Tony to see if he won't springboard a little more. Sam Burns seems like this course is built for him. I already said that, but this actual ownership and calculated ownership, it's so difficult to say. I'm gonna guess he's gonna be highly owned. I thought he'd be higher owned than Scheffler because if it was me, I would think, okay, both these guys are great course fits. Both of them win a lot of tournaments. Both of them have a lot of win equity, and this guy's 700 less. So why not play that guy? Save your 700. That's just my opinion. There are some other guys. This is the last 12 months. This is just a straight up model. And you can see the usual suspects. Difficult scoring is there as well. Killer Keith is catching my attention. I'm just going to bounce around. I'm not going to go in any order here. I don't know. I'm still waffling on Henley. I don't think that I'm going to get there. The guy I really wanted to play in this is Hideki. He's got one good finish, his second place a couple years ago here, and he always plays difficult courses well. He's just a grinder, and he doesn't put, but you can see his double. This is what I wanted to look at: bogey avoidance and double bogey. So I added those in there, but I didn't give them any weight because I wanted to see maybe this is not, the opposite of a birdie fest. Who can make the lesser mistakes? Because I think finishing position will be much more important this week. So you need to get these guys up there. Even if Hideki finishes 15th, that's probably not going to be good enough. So that's why I still have pause with him. Aaron Wise is going to be extremely popular, and the pivot off of him would be Taylor Montgomery. Now, remember, these are just difficult courses, so obviously we're not looking at a large sample size there. So if we just go back to like 3 months, you're going to see Taylor Montgomery way up here now. So 14th in the model. Obviously, tee times are out. And going back to over here, I don't think that you're going to be able to do any stacking. Although, if this little spike in wind over here, I don't know. It seems like there's going to be absolutely no wind on Thursday. So I don't know. It might be a PM AM. It'll depend. It looks like this isolated storms in the afternoon. So we'll go from there. But the comp model I was talking about, obviously the same guys keep showing up. Aaron Wise is a comp on long courses. He's, this comp model, he's been playing really well. It's going to be hard to fade him. I'm going to have a piece here or there. Play him in the right spot, though. Don't play him with too much chalk. I'm not going to worry that much about ownership. You can pivot to Montgomery because he doesn't look like he's going to be, but maybe 10 to 12%. People are still waiting for that bubble to bust on Monty, but the man might just be a damn good putter, and then the rest of his game kind of just starts coming into play a little bit more. He's only got 3 rounds on this one, and where did we go over here? And we got 20 rounds, and you start seeing birdie or better. Look, the short game is there obviously because of the putting, the DK points, but bogey avoidance and double, he don't make a lot of mistakes. So that's promising. And the proximity, 175 to 200, but he hits it a long way, which is of course fit as well. So not so much on the good drives, but I'm still going with the grip it and rip it aspect of it. Strokes gain approach, he's not all there. Jason Day, I still can't pull the trigger on him, even though he's number one in my model. It doesn't matter. He's liable to withdraw. It'll be too cold or something. But good thing he is going off in the AM on Thursday because it's going to still be fairly decently warm Thursday. So his back should be just fine. He'll have a PM time Friday. Mav playing pretty good golf. I'll have to look into him some more. These are just some Neesmith. It seems to be really, really popular. Might have a piece. I need to get down here to some guys that people aren't talking about. I'm definitely getting back on the rally train. I think with the more difficult conditions that he could thrive a little better. I think maybe he just struggles in more of the birdie fests. I don't know. That's just my own thing. But you can see he's got a couple of bright spots here, which is his long distance proximities. But the double bogeys are bad. So that's going to be something I'll have to look at as well. Killer Keith on Bermuda grass. He hasn't really, his stats don't look real good, but he still bombs it off the tee and he can get hot. He's decent around the green sometimes. So, but Taylor Moore's another guy I'll be looking at. I think I'm going to largely fade this 9K range. So I might get into a couple of guys here. Pendrith seems like a good fit, but these guys are just, Pendrith, Riley. Yeah. Okay. Wyndham Clark, I've played recently. It just doesn't do a lot to spark me. Now, the one guy, Will Gordon, it does seem to have found it, and he is putting up some really good numbers his last 20. And I always was of the opinion that Will Gordon wasn't a birdie fest guy. He was more of a play on these longer courses and grind them out type of guy. So I don't know. Maybe I had that backwards, but I'm going to give Will Gordon some consideration. Lee Hodges better not be too popular because I think he's a great fit for this course. He hits it far enough and he's good, he's good drives. The approach, the total tee to green game in his last 25 rounds puts him right up there, and the bogey avoidance too. I mean, that's great. People are talking Smalley. Burmeister seems like a fit. He's a bomber off the tee. Good short game. The proximity numbers can be there, and DK points are there. I'll definitely give him some love. Down here a little bit, Sig is out. I kind of want to go back to Sepp Straka. He really disappointed me last week, but he is a volatile player, so you just have to take that into consideration. I will have some Davis Thompson. I think he's a great course fit. He pops in several of the stats. I don't look at the total rank, but I look at stuff like this: driving distance, par fives, 175 to 200, avoids the doubles, scores DK points. Sign me up. Then you get down in here to some of these other jokers. Party Marty was all right last week. Rose, you talk about double bogey. Yeah, 126. I can't trust that guy in this type of course. He's, he can make 3 birdies in a row and then two triples. So I don't know. This seems like a good course for Cam Champ though. And he has no stats to back that up. And he is not even showing up on the distance, which is kind of crazy. But you got guys like Steele. I'm not going back to Molly. I loved him last week on the short course and wide open fairways, but I'm not doing it here. Get down here. Jaeger, see, people think short birdie fest for Jaeger, but he still shows up pretty good. I mean, he's not great on the distance, but he's tee to green, short game master. I mean, he can get it done and make you a cut. I don't know where he'll fall in ownership wise. If we go down here and just kind of look, and maybe we can get an idea. Sub 10%, we'll call it. So that's pretty good. I don't mind that. And I believe he missed the cut on the number last week. Disappointed me. and probably a lot of you. So sometimes we can run them back with these type of guys. And driving deceived, I mean, he hits it farther than Mark Hubbard, right? Down here, Gary Woodland at the flat 7. Seems logical. Long off the tee, hitting fairways. He's 5th in good drives and the proximity, but the short game is awful. I can't trust him on this golf course with his short game. I mean, you have to have it at a course like this. Him and Mullinax both are, I believe Sam Ryder's out. And then we start getting down here because I want to get into the short game more down here because I feel like guys can, like Ben Griffin still looks good. I mean, his short game prowess is not great, but I'll take a deeper dive into that. But you can see how good he looks in the proximity ranges of what we're looking at. DK points, double avoidance. He doesn't avoid the bogeys all that much, but the big numbers is what I'm worried about. And of course, everybody's going to make bogeys this week. So that's what I'm afraid of is the doubles and the triples and the worse scores. I don't want those. Charlie Hoffman, I am definitely back on Charlie Hustle. He's made it. He's starting to make cuts again. He's in Texas. He's got good course history here. I kind of like what he's doing. I know his stats don't bear that out, but the par fives and the proximity, he's got a couple of good stats. I think he's trending upwards. I'm hoping he is anyway. He had an injury about this time last year that seemed to almost derail his entire season. So we'll take a look. I mean, we'll just take a quick look at his recent performance. And he made the cut at the Worldwide Technologies. I don't know if that's Birdie Fest, and he 29th at Butterfield, and then he missed a couple of cuts. I probably won't be gaga over him, but I mean, sometimes you just play Charlie Hoffman in Texas. He's 6,800. He's got high upside. He does score. When he gets hot, he scores, period. So there you go. Higo, this is kind of similar to, I don't know if it's like Congaree, but that's where he had that one win. And he does have some pretty decent looking stats. I mean, DK points, bogey avoidance. I don't like the double bogeys, but par five's looking good. He might be under consideration. I'm going to go ahead and star him for now because he is decently long off the tee and he's not horrible. I mean, he's probably not super accurate either. But now we start to get into the subcategory, sub sevens. Bramlett's another guy who hits it a long way. Sometimes he can put you right out of the golf tournament. I don't like the bogey avoidance number there, but the rest of it's pretty good. 19 birdies, so he's a guy to look into. I don't hear too much talk about him. Schwab, nah. Callum Tarrant, maybe he hasn't had a good run of it, but he's not taking advantage of the par fives. I don't like that. That's the only place not the only place, but that is one of the few places where you can really take advantage. And you got 28 to 35% birdie rates is these par fives. So if you ain't scoring on the par fives, you're probably not making my player pool. And that's something I'll look into down here a little bit more as we get into the lower guys down here. I mean, Gligic let us down. Doc Redman might be interesting. He's not long like I like, but he's usually pretty accurate. He's a great tee to green player, and the short game looking pretty good. That's only 3 rounds. So we haven't really seen Doc in a while. So Doc is 21st. Yeah, see, that's going to be a tough call for me. That might be just a gut play where you're just counting on him maybe making some putts. And I'll look into him a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and give him a star, 6,300. We haven't seen old Doc in a while. And then you start really getting down here. And these are just, if you just want to start looking at ranks, I mean, 10 rounds ain't much, but Westmoreland's got some par 5 scoring ability, hits the long irons pretty good, has some distance, could do worse. I'm going to star him at 61. He might be a nice punt. But other than that, that's really all I got for now. I just wanted to get something out there with some players and maybe just a little bit of ownership talk and talk about tee times. I don't see any weather stacks right now, but down the road, it might, if we keep an eye on the weather, we might get there. So until the next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Peace.